Hey YouTube subscribers, welcome back to the channel Pro Carry Trucker. I'm going to do a video here, just called a maintenance video, and I will let you know now this one will probably be a bit longer than normal. I usually try to keep my videos around 10 minutes or less. Definitely try to keep them less than 15. This one will probably go over that. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to field strip a Glock19. And then from there, I will break it down the rest of the way. Basically, a complete breakdown on a Glock. Doesn't matter if you have Glock 19, Glock 27, Glock 26, Glock 43, Glock 22, 9mm, 380, 357 SIG, 45. It doesn't matter. They all pretty well going to break down the same. So, I've already cleaned this gun, so I don't need to clean it. So we'll just break her down, put her back together. Got my handy 4-in-1 Glock tool. First thing we need to do is clear the weapon. Make sure it's safe. Drop the magazine. Empty magazine. Empty firearm. You want to decock the firearm, and the way you're holding the firearm like you shoot it, basically this back here is going to stay this right where it's at. Kind of keep the thumb where it's at. You got a tab. Oh, the camera's on this side. You got a tab here, and got one on the other, same place on the other side. You're basically going to take your pinky and fingers, come up over the slide, and just barely pull it back. Oh, that's actually too much. That might have worked, but just pull it back a little bit. Pull down those tabs. Slide comes off. You got your lower, you got your upper, your slide. And your slide, this would be the front of the barrel, or the front of the slide, the barrel, bullet comes out there. Here's the back of the slide. The spring, recoil spring, just gently push down on it and pull out, it will pop right out. Now if I was going to clean this firearm, I've got another container. I would sit this, any part I take off, I would sit in the container. I would put my cleaning solution in there and let it soak. The barrel, just simply push down a little bit, pull out, it'll kind of stop, and just gently pull up on it. As you pull out, the barrel comes right out. We'll set those aside. Okay, the slide, you got this tab back here. There are two rods in here. You got the firing spring and another rod that is pressing back and putting tension against this. Plus there's a couple clips on it. But what you want to do is, this here is your firing pin. And it comes out right there. What you're going to want to do, it won't move right now. Push down the safety catch, and you can see the firing pin. Slide that forward. You should be able to slide, put your finger on the top, you should be able to slide that off. I guess I can't pause that one. If it won't come off, take a small screwdriver, there's gonna be like a little gap right here. You can simply gently just kind of put it in there and twist a little bit. That'll give a little bit of gap up top. Come up top, just kind of twist down a little bit, small screwdriver. There's that click. Now when I push down on, when I take the tab, now that it clicked, it'll come off pretty easy. I'm going to push down and I'm going to cover that with my thumb. That way the firing pin and the other spring don't come flying out. Okay, they hit my thumb. If I was cleaning this, I'd put it in the tray. And that new can of chews really juicy. But once you get the tension off of it, it'll be there. You can take your firing pin, take that tab, slide it right out. You got your firing pin. Here's that other rod. I should have looked up and seen what exact names on these were. This will be the rod. This will be the end that goes in first, and that's the back side. Now that I got that done, the extractor should come right off. I want to hold my finger over this because that button has this very small spring underneath it. I ain't gonna deal with that. That's juicy. You want to hold this down so it don't come flying out. That extractor should come off pretty easy. Come right off. Load up on that gently. And this is the extractor. Here's what grabs your shell, ejects it out. See that piece is round there? And that will fit. And if I get that out, I'm going to turn this upside down. That'll fall out. And when I said small spring, it is a small spring. I'm actually going to set that in the tray just in case it falls over. I don't want to lose that spring. But the extractor, that round piece there, will fit. Hopefully I can get enough lighting here. I don't know if I'm going to get enough lighting or not. Hold on a second here. But there is a little indent right down in here. And you can definitely see how that fits in. You're not going to put it in. Watching what you do, you're not going to put it in backwards. So now you have a fully disassembled slide. Completely clean it. You can soak it. You can get your brush in there, wipe it down. I highly recommend where this little piece fits in right there to keep it clean. You don't want it getting gummed up. I might tell you why in a later video. You can get your brush in here a little bit better. A whole lot easier to clean that. We'll move on to the lower. It's nice to have something to set it on. Let me grab another magazine. Grabbed a couple magazines here. You're going to have 3 pins. You're gonna have one here, you're gonna have one here, and you got one here. Doesn't really matter how they go in. I'm going to start out by taking out the this pin right here. I simply take a punch, or if you have a Glock tool, you can take it and simply it should pop right out. Sometimes it can be a pain. If I wasn't doing a video on this, sucker would pop right out. If you're having trouble, flip it over. See if you can get it the other way. Like I said, it usually ain't too bad. Like I said, this pin, it's got the two grooves in it. This is the larger pin. Does not matter. You can put it in this way, or you can put it in this way. It does not matter. Cleaning solution, pin. I'll put some of this stuff right over here. Second pin's a little smaller, but I think this will work out. She popped right out. Same thing. This pin's the same on both ends. You can put it in this way. You can put it this way. It does not matter. You get those two pins out. This piece right here should come out pretty easy. It'll pop right out. Your slide lock, which is right here, all you gotta do is simply lift up on it. It'll pull right out. And that slide lock will actually fit. You got this piece here goes in this first groove. You got an empty groove here, then you got a groove on this side. That slide lock fits into that groove there. Take this, to get the rest of this out, I just got to knock this pin out. And it's the same way. It does not matter which way you put it in. Once you get that out, simply take your trigger, push up on your trigger, and this will come right out. Now basically you have a fully disassembled Glock. Only thing I haven't done is remove the breakdown tabs, which yeah, you can see where that catch is there. I don't think that comes out. And then if I can show it here, there is a spring if you want to take out the magazine button, there's a spring right here that you just move over to the groove. You can, if you're looking at it, you can see how it moves over to a groove. Flip it over, that spring will pop out and you remove the magazine. I ain't messing with that part. You got the gun broke down this much, you pretty much got a fully disassembled Glock. Completely clean it, a whole lot easier to clean, get all the gunk out of it. And once you clean it, you're ready to put it back together. Basically, we're going to go in the reverse steps of what we did taking it apart. So, get your trigger assembly. you can see here's the mag well, and right in here is where the trigger drops down in at. Just drop your trigger down in there. If it's being cantankerous, it'll just work for a little bit. It'll drop right in. You should not have to force any of this. This piece here, just kind of work it back and if it won't go in, just kind of work it back and forth. She'll drop right in, and that's in. Get the trigger back in, and at this point I can go ahead, put this pin back in. I can look down the hole there, make sure everything's lined up like it should. If you go to put a pin in and it will not go, then you got something not lined up right. Simply take one piece and just basically kind of jiggle it. You don't have to move it that much, just kind of jiggle it and it should pop right in. And I need to go a little bit more at that. Nope, too much. Yeah, that's good. I'm going to take my slide catch. You can see how it's got that groove in it. That goes on the right side. And it's going to fit, that groove fits down just like that. So basically slip in that slot I showed earlier and slip it down. Let's see if I can show this a little bit better. I'm doing this upside down, so be like this. Just going to slip it in, slip it right down. But I need to look at what I'm doing here. What am I messing here? It's here, it's here. Alright, what's causing me trouble here? Okay. Try this again. Of course, when I'm trying to do a video, it's going to give me fits. I had it in there once. Okay, there it is. Okay, there's that one. Actually, let's put this piece in first. And it's got the holes for the pin there, and that goes in the big, lines up with the large pinhole. So that's probably what my problem was. If you try to put it in backwards, it won't go. Like I said, you don't have to force anything. If you just set it in there, it should go right in. And then that fed a lot better. If you look at your holes and you got something not quite lined up, you can simply just gently move to line up your hole. Hold it in place. Grab the pin you wish to put in. If it's giving you trouble, just kind of maneuver things a little bit. And she pops right in. Push all your pins down to where they ought to be. Should be about the same centered on both sides. And you have a reassembled lower. Take your slide. You can take your safety catch pin, button, whatever you want to call it. Like I said, I should have looked up the actual names for these. Like I said, it goes in there, right that hole there. I found it a lot easier. Hold it up so that spring don't fall out. Set it up in there. Take your extractor, the round piece that fits in there. You can fit it. You can see the groove in this, maybe if I can get it. Really like to have better lighting. You can hopefully see that groove right there. Hold that down, that groove. You can set your extractor in. Back up on the groove. Take this rod here. Like I said, this is the end that goes in first. And it goes in this hole here. Drop it down. Take your firing pin. Of course, firing pin goes in first. And it's going to go in like this with this tab up into the groove. Now to put your plate back on, your plate's simply going to fit on like this. What you're going to do is start that, and just barely start it. It's best to have a punch or something. Actually, the punch is going to be better. I'm going to take my punch and the back of that firing pin, I'm going to push that down until my piece gets over, and I'll hold it. And then you got the second pin. I want to push it down so I can slide this up over it. Once it's over it, take it up, you'll hear it click and lock in place. you have a reassembled upper, all except for your barrel and your recoil spring. Simply stick your barrel back in. Your spring is going to have, each end is going to be a little bit different. Usually the one end is going to be flat. Your flat end, it goes to the back of the barrel. Put that in first. That round end goes right in there. And you can see the groove right in here, there it fits in at. And just basically push in on it, let her drop down, and rotate your thumb up, it'll drop it down, and it fits down in there like this. You got a fully reassembled upper or slide. It's ready to put back on the lower. Line up your grooves. Pull it back, lock it on, and you can do a function test. Rack it. And you got a reassembled Glock. Hope you've enjoyed this video. Love to hear the comments on it. Really like that thumbs up. Thanks for watching. We will catch you on the next video. I can hit the stop button.